WSYX News, the team to watch.
A major drug bust tonight and a major dealer taken out. Hello, everyone. I'm Carol Costello.
And I'm Bill Martin. Columbus police narcotics officers say they bagged a major supplier of cocaine to Central Ohio. SWAT team members and narcotics people tonight stormed a home on Carl Road, grabbing 37-year-old Robert Earthman and all of this. At least $20,000 worth of coke, handguns, and a shotgun, plus thousands of dollars in cash. Earthman runs 2 businesses in town, including a record shop, and he has been arrested before for drug trafficking.
There was a vicious attack on a young couple at the Ohio State Fair last night, one that forced the Ohio Highway Patrol to beef up security on the crowded Midway tonight. The fight itself involved at least 10 teenaged boys and a young man and woman. Martin Fightmaster sports a black eye tonight and bruises on his back. But his physical injuries will fade soon. Unfortunately, the emotional scars left over from the Ohio State Fair will not.
Someone grabbed Judy by the hair and by the arm, and there was a couple guys, and they were hitting her. She crouched down to the ground, and they were hitting her in the back of the head and the back and kicking her.
The attack on Fightmaster's fiancée took place on the crowded Midway while the couple waited in line to get on a ride. A group of teenagers cut in line. When Judy protested, they attacked her. Martin Fightmaster tried his best to protect her. But still, Judy Camp's arm is bruised and strained tonight. She sports a tightly wrapped ace bandage so she doesn't accidentally bump it.
One of the officers was telling us that this kind of thing happens a lot, and he knows that people have just been beaten brutally at the fair by this kind of thing, and it really shocked me. And I felt like I'd gotten off lucky.
Those very same officers are on duty on the Midway tonight, along with a beefed-up patrol. Unfortunately, they were unable to catch any of the teenagers responsible for what happened to a young couple at the Ohio State Fair. And of course, we told you Thursday, Columbus police decreased the number of officers patrolling the perimeter of the fair because of how little violence there is there. However, the Highway Patrol is at full force and told us this type of thing does not happen often. Despite that, more manpower will be put on the Midway at night from now on.
Here's one statistic that has saddened a lot of people. Ohio State Trooper Wendy Everett has become the first female officer to die in the line of duty. But today, the man accused of running her down on 270 near the Grove City exit appeared in court. Surrounded by his attorneys, Jamie Schoen entered no plea on his vehicular homicide charge and not guilty to leaving the scene of an accident. Police found Schoen's blood-spattered car at his apartment Friday morning. He turned himself in Friday afternoon after contacting his attorneys. Schoen's preliminary hearing is set for August 15th. And it might take a lot longer than that to find out what went wrong in the fatal crash of Lieutenant Brian Miner's fighter jet. Miner's plane slammed into these woods in the Pike State Forest only 28 minutes after taking off from Rickenbacker. The Ohio Guard pilot's body was taken from the wreckage today, but it could be months before military people know just what happened.
From planes to trains and a number of derailments to tell you about. First, an update. Crews have now dragged all of the smoldering rail cars off the tracks near Loudonville. Believe us, it's taken a massive effort to clean up the 46 cars strewn near this cornfield. As we told you yesterday, 30 families had to be evacuated when the chemicals inside these cars became unstable. All are back in their homes tonight, although the EPA is still busy removing contaminated soil. Conrail people are still not sure what caused all of this. And in Paris, France, malfunctioning brakes may have caused this train to ram into a terminal barrier. That crash killed 1 person and injured 57 others. 7 of those hurt were trapped in the wreckage for as long as 2.5 hours. A railway station employee told authorities the train was going about 12 miles per hour when it crashed. This is the 2nd train disaster in Paris this summer. And it was the heat that caused this Amtrak train to jump the tracks in Montana. This crash injured 100 people. 5 of them remain hospitalized at this hour. Authorities say the extreme heat caused the tracks to buckle and forced the train's wheels from the track. The Amtrak had been carrying 332 people from Chicago to Seattle, Washington.
Well, no one has been hurt in Dublin yet, but health officials there are warning people in Old Dublin to not use their well water until it's been checked. High levels of benzene, a cancer-causing agent used in fuels and solvents, has been found in some of the wells. Now, the chemicals believed to be coming from an underground gasoline or kerosene tank, but there is no danger for those of you using Dublin city water.
On to a much more common health threat, that of stroke. It is the 3rd leading cause of death in this country and can strike anyone from age 35 up. Right now, the most popular way to prevent stroke is through surgery. But as our medical advisor, Dr. Nelson Krause, reports, that preventative measure is now embroiled in controversy.
Breathe. Turn your head towards me.
Doctors had no trouble hearing the partial blockage in Alice Merrill's carotid artery. It meant plaque was building up inside a major vessel to the brain, and that could cause a stroke. For the last 25 years, some doctors have recommended an operation called a carotid endarterectomy to open up the artery, take out the plaque, and then sew it up again. But how much good does that really do? Carotid endarterectomy started to be challenged when it looked like the risks of the surgery actually outweigh the benefits. In fact, one recent study showed that patients undergoing carotid endarterectomy had a 1 in 10 or a 10% chance of either dying or experiencing a stroke caused by the surgery itself. Well, now 18 medical centers across the country will study some 1,500 people who, like Alice Merrill, have partial blockage in their carotid artery but no symptoms of stroke yet. All of the patients in the study will change their lifestyles. They'll have to control blood pressure, stop smoking, eat a low-fat diet, take an aspirin a day, but only half will have the carotid endarterectomy done. Then after about 5 years, we will know better which approach, lifestyle change or surgery, is more effective in preventing strokes. For Channel 6 News, I'm Dr. Nelson Krause.
And coming up next on Channel 6 News, dancing with one of the world's greats. Rudolf Nureyev dazzles the crowd at the Ohio Theater tonight.
Also coming up, crowds lining the banks of the Scioto, remembering the bombing of Hiroshima.
A 24-hour cooling trend, and then it's right back to hot and humid.
And in sports, the Reds can't stand prosperity, and Chris Spielman gets his first taste of the NFL, albeit from a small bite.
Cats run into each other.
3,000 nurses on strike.
And thousands remember August 6, 1945. But first around the world tonight, Iraqi's President Saddam Hussein says he could be willing to agree to a ceasefire in the 8-year-old Gulf War if Iran agrees to hold peace talks immediately after that truce. Iraq has been concerned without face-to-face talks, Iran would use that opportunity to regroup and attack.
Hundreds of folks lined the banks of the Scioto River tonight to remember the bombing of Hiroshima, Japan, 43 years ago today during World War II. 78,000 people died August 6, 1945. In Hiroshima, the mayor applauded the recent nuclear arms treaty between the United States and the Soviet Union, but says it still doesn't go far enough.
Overseas, the outlawed Irish Republican Army today claimed responsibility for a bomb attack where 4 people were wounded at a British military barracks in West Germany Friday. Meantime, in Northern Ireland, a funeral service was held for one of 2 maintenance workers gunned down Thursday by IRA rebels.
150 nurses joined 3,000 others on the picket line in California today, virtually crippling 8 San Francisco hospitals. This is the first massive nurses' strike since New York nurses carried signs back in 1984. The California nurses are seeking an 11% pay hike by 1989 and another 10% raise in 1990. The hospitals have offered 7%.
People aboard 2 jets on the taxiway at Atlanta's airport are lucky they don't need nurses tonight. An Eastern DC-9 and a Delta jet crunched into each other while heading to take off. Both planes were damaged, but luckily no one was hurt.
Well, absolutely nothing but glitz, glamour, and electrifying ballet at the Ohio Theater tonight. The great ballet legend Rudolf Nureyev and some friends from Paris danced to the music of Stravinsky. It took some time for Nureyev to make his first appearance on stage, but when he did, the crowd became absolutely silent, completely enthralled. Of course, Nureyev's helping to raise money to expand our own ballet Met. Mikhail Baryshnikov was supposed to perform tonight, but couldn't thanks to a knee injury. An injury that is not uncommon for dancers, as our Kim Norris tells us in part 1 of her series.
According to doctors, no athlete is more vulnerable to overuse syndrome injuries than dancers. Now, this fall did not injure the dancer, but the most common injuries they suffer are called shin splints, a term used loosely to describe any pain in the foreleg. The most common sites are the foot, the knee, and the ankle, and doubling the trouble is professional dancers often ignore their pain.
It was just a sore spot at first. I just kept ignoring it, and I kept working on it. By doing that, I got a stress fracture, but
She also ended up hurting her right knee because she wasn't taking care of her left foot. Now, Dr. Washington says most serious injuries could be avoided if dancers paid more attention to their pain earlier. Doctors say use common sense. If it hurts, stop. Kim Norris, Channel 6 News.
And, of course, Kim Norris will have more on this tomorrow at 6 o'clock as her series continues.
And when we come back, a shocking weather forecast.
Oh, yeah. Pamela's coming up, and she's not talking hot and humid.
Finally, Pamela, some sleeping weather.
Tonight is going to be very nice. Now, the relative humidity is a bit high right now, but I was just stepping outside, and it is gorgeous. 72 outside right now. High temperature today, very nice. It was up at 85 degrees after a muggy morning low of 71. Now, normally this day we have about 84 and 63. We have had 19/100 of an inch so far in the last 24 hours, and that's recorded at the airport. Outside right now, as I said, it is nice. 72 degrees out. The relative humidity at 87%. Our barometer rising at 30.01, and winds are just calm this evening. Statewide temperatures, just a quick look. Everybody's in the 70s, and everybody will be dropping down into the 60s this evening. We've got very fair skies across the state of Ohio tonight on the satellite map, and there are a lot of things to talk about. We've got storms everywhere. Now, not all of them mean anything to us. This is the cold front that moved through storm number 1 this afternoon. That's completely out of the area. You don't have to worry about that. Storm number 2 is down here in the southeast. It's a low-pressure system, and it is tracking south and east, causing some scattered rain shower activity there this evening and thunderstorms. That certainly is not going to affect us at all. But what is a storm number 3 up here extending through the Rockies? It will be moving across the nation, south and eastward, should bring us some rain Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. Now, I'll show you this on the precipitation map in just a moment. It doesn't have a lot of moisture with it, probably just some scattered showers. Storm number 4 is out in the west, and I'll show you that just a minute on the extended map, and that looks like that should give us a pretty good shot for rain. This, finally, is storm number 5. That is a tropical depression right now with winds at about 30 miles an hour, tracking northeastward. So the combination of that tropical depression along with this cold front here, they are just going to get buckets of rain anywhere, really extending from North Carolina all the way up to New Jersey. 1 to 2 to 3 inches there expected in the next 24 hours. Temperatures for tomorrow afternoon should be really nice. We should top off with about 85 degrees here in Columbus. 90 should be moving in not until Monday, so a very nice, enjoyable day tomorrow. Enjoy it while we have it, because in the extended forecast, it is going to get hot. For tomorrow, also sunny skies, and thanks to that high pressure system there. So for tonight, we do have clear skies outside and a low temperature at 65 degrees. For tomorrow, mostly sunny, 85 for the high. Tomorrow night, fair skies, a bit muggy outside, a low at 70. And then for Monday, sunny and getting humid once again. High temperature right about 92 degrees. Now, in our extended forecast, this is storm number 4 here. This is the one I just showed you on the national satellite map. That thing will be moving south and eastward, give us a good chance for rain Thursday night and Friday morning. Temperature-wise, in the extended forecast, as we said, enjoy these cool temperatures now, because we are going to be above normal all next week. Expect highs to be in the low to middle 90s. So this is what it looks like for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Partly sunny skies, high temperature 94 degrees, and we should be 92, maybe 95 on Wednesday. Thursday looks like a good day for us until Thursday night, and then that's when storm number 4 will be moving in. So.
But we need the rain.
We do, really badly.
Thanks,
I'm glad it's going to get hot, because I had goosebumps tonight. I'm not used to this cold weather.
I know, it's a change, isn't it? We can finally breathe.
I'm used to sweltering.
Yes.
Well, still to come, it's double trouble in Twinsburg.
And you can get 2 for the price of 1. Chris Spielman and the Cleveland Browns' first preseason game. Mike Rade is up next with sports.
Each of these people, one of them is an Ohio Lottery Super Lotto jackpot winner. Can you tell which one it is?
Lifelong friends, the Mahjong Six, played their favorite game weekly. Each chipped in 50 cents every week to play another ancient game, the lottery. Nearly $5 million made them all winners in that game. I'm Alex Trebek, and I'll see you soon with another new millionaire.
And Mike is here with sports, and you know, I know a Reds fan, and he opened up the paper and showed me the stats, and it said the Reds were at 500.
Yeah, for all of about 16 hours or thereabouts. They faced Dennis Rasmussen tonight. Now, remember, the Reds traded him to San Diego. He was 2-6 with the Reds. He's now 8-1 with San Diego. You know what that tells me? It tells me Scott Breeden, the pitching coach, ought to get the old heave-ho. The Reds have been bitten by trade. Gave Buddy Belty Houston. He came back to beat him twice. Gave Dennis Rasmussen to San Diego, and tonight Ras won his 3rd over the Reds, 4-1 the final. Reds just can't stand prosperity. Down in Cincinnati now, here we go. Jack McKeon, the manager of the Pods, glad to have Dennis Rasmussen on his side. In the sixth, tied at 1, Keith Moreland at the plate, and he singles back up through the middle. That scores Roberto Alomar, and it made it 2-1 Padres. Then in the eighth, watch this. Marvell Wynn at the plate, a monumentally mammoth blast to right field into the green seats. That made it 3-1 Padres win it 4-1. Houston at home tonight against L.A. looking to pull within a game and a half. 0-0 in the fourth. Tracy Woodson at the plate, and he pounds a single to left. That scores both Kirk Gibson and Mike Marshall to make it 2-0. Dodgers lead it now 5-3 in the ninth inning. On the scoreboard, New York increases their lead over Pittsburgh to 6 games. Montreal wins its 5th straight. Chicago beat Philly and San Fran over Atlanta. Now, 4 out of the 5 games in the Motown Showdown are history, and give all 4 to Detroit. The Tigers, I guess, kind of showing Boston who's boss. 4-2, they win today. Up now to Tiger Stadium. Scoreless in the third, 2-on for Dave Bergman. And watch Bergie. He goes opposite way right here, down the left field line. It goes for a double, scores a run to make it 1-0 Tigers. It was 2-0 Detroit. Now in the 6th inning, a man on for Matt Noakes. And watch old Matty Noakes at the plate. He hits a towering shot to right field off the roof. A 2-run dinger. Made it 4-0. Tigers win it 4-2. They lead Boston now by 4 games. New York and Boston now tied for second. KC drilled Toronto. Oakland slipped past Seattle. Milwaukee ahead in the 8th inning. And then the 9th inning, Cleveland leads Texas. The Clippers at home tonight against Pawtucket, trying to break a 4-game losing streak. Let's go now to the big ballpark and see how they did. Pick it up in the 7th. Turner Ward at the plate. Say so long. Turner Ward hits his 6th of the season. Scott Nielsen and Pat Clements combine on a 7-hitter as Columbus shuts out Pawtucket 3-0 the final. And this is the first full weekend of the NFL preseason. The Browns with their first game at home against the Lions at Municipal Stadium. Chris Spielman getting his first taste of the NFL. Recovering from the hamstring pull. Didn't play much right here. He looks more like a running back than a linebacker. Number 54. Looked like he got tackled to me. Tackle of the day, though, goes to the official right here. He makes a good play on the running back. The Browns' only question mark was a quarterback. Who will be their third stringer? Mike Pagel has the early edge. Did a good job moving the team tonight. Then here's the difference. Tied at 10 in the 4th quarter. Jeff Jager is good from 27 yards, and 13-10 the Browns win. As we check out the scoreboard, there you see the Browns scoring. Look at the Bengals. Back same old stuff. 34-14. They're losing in the 4th quarter. My goodness. Final round of the Senior U.S. Open should be a good one. 7 golfers within 3 strokes of the lead on a course that doesn't yield many birdies. Just ask Walt Zembrisky, who at one point had a 2-shot lead. He came to the par 3 17th with a 1-stroke lead, and then look at his tee shot. He put 2 balls into the water. He came away from 17 with a quadruple bogey, 4 shots down. Billy Casper is one of 2 golfers, 1 shot back. Look at Billy for birdie at 17. And now watch Billy Boogie. He's tied with Lou Graham in second. They're both trailing Bob Charles and this man here, Gary Player. Look at Player out of the sand at number 12. That's perfection. Final round is tomorrow. Harness Racing's most prestigious event happening this evening, as we will take a look at another golfer making a good putt. This is a different tournament. This is the one down in Tennessee. Jody Mudd is the leader, and Jody Mudd had a good day today. He leads by 1 stroke over Tim Simpson. And I'm so excited about this Hambletonian that we're going to go to it right now. In East Rutherford, New Jersey, it is the Hambletonian, harness racing's most prestigious event. And look at the horse out in front. That is a good horse, Ambro Goal. And listen as they head for the stretch.
Opened up now to a 3-length lead. The others trying to catch him, but they're not going to do it. Ambro Goal has won the Hambletonian. A compelling performance.
Goal does win the Hambletonian and collects $578,400. Big ones for his efforts. A serious note, the story about Brian Bosworth still amazes me. Boss says in his soon-to-be-released autobiography that while Oklahoma, he saw players freebase cocaine the day of a game, witnessed a teammate fire an Uzi machine gun on a dormitory balcony, and that steroids were as common as aspirin around the Sooner locker room. The Dallas Morning News published the excerpts of that book. Oklahoma coach Barry Switzer has yet to respond to those allegations. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens with the Oklahoma football program. But Jody Mudd, he does lead that.
I feel like shaking your hand, Mike. That was a great job.
The St. Jude Classic. I pulled that one out of the old memory.
You sure did.
Didn't even have that written down.
You're
Thanks,
a sports
Michael.
guy.
Coming up next, seeing double.
But believe us, there's nothing wrong with your eyesight.
Glicks
Total Sale is Glick's commitment to you of value, quality, and service. Savings of 20 to 54% and guaranteed lowest prices, a commitment to value. Trusted famous brands featuring solid woods by Kincaid, a commitment to quality. Largest in-stock selections and no monthly payments till December, a commitment to service. Come shop Glick's Total Sale going on now, and you'll understand our total commitment to you for over 80 years. Glick's Furniture Showcase.
Now, most of us would have given anything to pull this stunt in school.
Brothers or sisters switching seats in class, the teacher not having a clue as to what's happened.
I guess that's just one benefit to being a twin, but I'm sure there were plenty more stories swapped today at the 13th Annual Twins Day Festival in Twinsburg.
From head to toe, these folks are carbon copies. Same hairstyle, same clothes, same everything.
One baby, certainly a bundle of joy, but for the moms of these guys and gals, this is certainly double the joy.
It's just amazing. You know, I've been to the...
Double trouble for some of those
What if
kids.
we had another of Mike Rada running around? I don't think I could take it.
Double trouble.
Double trouble. That's all the time we have. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
See you then. Good night.
Don't your relatives